We've had another heavyweight showdown. Yeah, on Saturday, April 5th. Guido Vianello faced off against Richard Torrez Jr. This was an opportunity for both men to come in and see exactly where they are in the heavyweight division. In the case of Vianello, it was thought that he may have been given an edge due to the men that he has faced on his resume. And Torrez had been spoon-fed a handful of fighters to build confidence and his KO record. But something else occurred when they faced one another. And it became readily apparent that one man was ready to mix it up, and the other really appeared to be like a deer in headlights. Why is that? What is that? And so here I'll deliver my thoughts on this particular matchup and what I think will be on the horizon for the victor. Heavyweight boxing is always something that the public wants to tune into, because when the big guys face off against one another, you just can't tell what'll happen, because all it'll take with the big men is one shot. And that's what we had on Saturday, April 5th, when Richard Torrez Jr. faced Guido Vianello. Now, Vianello, being a few years older at 35, is a 6'6" heavyweight out of Italy, 79-inch reach, a former Olympian, and a fighter who has come into his own in the heavyweight division and has competed on television and indiscreet when he's tried to forge a career as a contender. But Top Rank's Richard Torrez Jr. is a fighter who is a silver medalist and at the age of 25 is a southpaw heavyweight, 6'2" with a 76-inch reach. He's like a wide body, active, punching fighter. I haven't been able to describe his style as of yet because of his opponents. This fight against Vianello was supposed to be a fight that really tests the waters to where he is in his career. With only 11 fights under his belt going in, he was full of question marks. But Vianello, with his experience and the fact that he's been in the ring with the likes of Jonathan Rice, Efe Ajagba, and Arslanbek Makhmudov, all fighters who could test him. And two of those fighters, Ajagba and Rice, he has losses to. A split decision loss to Ajagba, a fight that he actually could have pulled out, believe it or not. That came in April of 2024. The Rice loss was a TKO stoppage when he had went beyond the rounds where a fight could be stopped according to a cut, in a fight that he was winning basically, but the doctors stopped the fight because the cut was severe. So he ended up with a TKO loss to Rice. But it wasn't that Rice had knocked him out or stopped him. It was a cut that occurred during the fight, which is another reason that you have to have good corner people to help try to keep you in the thick of things when you're competing. So this fight was going to show us exactly where Torrez Jr. is, and leave no doubt about it. He's a contender, people, and he's going to give people problems in the ring, because though he's giving the appearance of a man that, based on his appearance, you can be uncertain, one thing is certain: he has a fighting spirit. And I had never seen, in the 5 or 6 fights that I've watched Guido Vianello, seen him look as uncomfortable as he was against Torrez Jr. Now, could he have been intimidated by the fact that Torrez Jr. is a former Olympian and silver medalist? That's quite possible. Psychologically, you just don't know what gets in a fighter's head. However, it was the way that Torrez Jr. was attacking him. He was going after Guido, not giving him much room to box or to get into a rhythm. He was in his grill up front, as I had described that he needed to be effective. He did exactly that. And the only thing Vianello could do was hold, tie him up, and grab and grapple. And the referee, Thomas Taylor, ended up taking a point away in the second round for excessive holding by Vianello, who looked lost at that moment. Lost as far as where he was in the fight and what to do, and loss of confidence in being able to compete. Torrez is a whirlwind of activity. He's a swarmer. He will get in there and wing his shots and everything. He'll work behind a feint and a jab to get in close, and then he'll start opening up. I would love to see him add a more experienced trainer to his corner, because I think that there is something there to work with. With Alexander Usyk pretty much in the twilight of his career, about to wind down, here's another southpaw heavyweight and Olympian who could come and slide right into that slot and give these big guys trouble. Because these men that are of the stature of Usyk, who's about 6'2", 6'3", like Torrez Jr., same type of reach, but the difference is Torrez has been a heavyweight his entire career. Usyk has come up from a lower weight to become a heavyweight. So if Torrez can get some people in to assist with him technically wise, I think there's something there. He definitely has a competitive nature about himself, and he will go after his opponents. He will take risks and gamble. He got hit with a shot by Vianello in this fight that kind of had him a little off balance. I won't say hurt because I don't believe he was hurt, but he was off balance, and he sought a way to right himself by getting close to Vianello and getting in his chest, putting his head into his chest where he could clear himself. And Vianello, who's not an inside fighter, couldn't detect anything. He was just trying to hold the guy and keep the guy off of him. So after 10 rounds of this hug fest from Vianello, Torrez Jr. came away with a decision, a unanimous decision, and rightfully so, which moved his record now up to 13-0 with 11 KOs. But I am so anxious to see what he can do going forward. There's another American heavyweight, Jared Anderson, whom could face Torrez somewhere in the near future. And I'm going to tell you, I would favor Torrez going in. Though Anderson has talent and ability and potential to be the type of fighter that should be able to handle someone like Torrez easily, but there's something going on with Anderson upstairs. And as long as he has issues with that haven't come to grips with, a fighter like Torrez could take him apart and bring the house crashing down upon him psychologically with the pressure that he brings. But unless Torrez gets the type of help that I'm suggesting, it's going to be a limited engagement for him. But as of right now, he's kind of like the American ticket. And that's why they should invest in his career and bring in more people who could polish him up and work on some of the skills that he will need to be preserved in a valley of giants. Because though he's a nice size at 6'2" and 230 pounds, these guys that are 6'6" and 240 to 250 plus, he's got to learn how to be able to work his way inside to break them down, because he can definitely do that. We've seen a heavyweight out of Germany named Ajit Kabiel, who is not much bigger than Torrez, do the same, break these guys down. And boy, would that be a fight where Torrez gets a little more experience under his belt and to challenge someone like Kabiel. Wow. But that would be what I'm talking about when you see these heavyweights out here. And we need to see guys get more polished with their skill set. It's okay to be a guy who can knock people out, and it's okay to be a guy who can fight. But there's nothing wrong with being able to display technical proficiency and be able to get in there and work behind skill set, because we already know that you're a warrior. This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts about Richard Torrez Jr. and what would you like to see of him next coming out of the heavyweight division. Would you want to see him take another step against a more experienced heavyweight and bring someone in like I suggested? Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.